Comedian and actress Sarah Silverman is calling for women to speak up for themselves. She recently shared on social media what she calls a bad experience she had while at a recent mammogram appointment. When the radiologist went to prep Silverman for her ultrasound, she says he used his bare hands, no gloves. She also said, quote, "When he glides the ultrasound wand thing over my breast, he drags his fingers on them and it bothers me." She also detailed how he left her gown open while talking to her about other tests. So what would you do in this situation? We decided we'd dive into this one in Real Talk with the always fabulous Cara Kinnear, equally fabulous, well, everybody's fabulous, author Engel Val, and from HGTV's House Hunters, Engel and Volker's managing broker, Christian Ross. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you.
So my question to you is, would you have been freaked out in this situation? Reading, you have to read the article, and we'll post it if we haven't already. Because when I first heard this in our meeting, when I was like, oh no, because I have friends and my own cousin is an OBGYN, there's a part of me that was like, oh gosh, are we creating a chilling effect in these industries where you are having to be, opposite sex? But then I really read it. And then I thought, oh my God, this seemed over the top inappropriate. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were exactly the same, because at first I was just like, oh, like, there's just so many things you just don't want to cross the line in thinking of different things. But then when I read it, I felt creeped out. I was just like, this isn't right. I would be freaked out if that happened to me.
The article, at one time, she's like, look, we're not on a date.
Yeah.
Like, you're dragging your bare hands across my breast. And by the way, she talked to him last year about the situation. And so he was warned before, and I love that she spoke up. A lot of women, and she would say it in a funny, firm way. But women need to speak up and say, if some other women prefer that, and they let you know they prefer bare hands, so be it. The majority of women are going to want something between you and the physician, especially if they're male, probably.
Yeah. I just think it's so much about teaching and realizing that our intuition is usually correct. And I think that we, as women, have sort of been conditioned in some way or another, whether it's on purpose or not, to do the nice thing or the right thing, or to be polite, when really the right thing is to listen to what we know is right and to speak up for ourselves.
And
I think she's doing just that.
Benefit of the doubt. I think it's our first instinct, all of us, give them the benefit of the doubt. What's going on here? But then when you read later in the open gown, he's having this long conversation, then you realize you have to step up. He's crossing the line.
It's just too much.
Now, ladies, I will say this. I think, well, I'm actually behind. I need to get my appointment in. But I'm almost 100% sure that my doctor, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm going like this, uses,
you're going through the process.
Uses bare hands. But I feel like there's always a nurse in the room. And then I'm thinking, when I'm getting the actual mammogram, it's usually a female technician. So, but thinking through all of this, at the end of the day, the dragging the fingers, the putting gel, I mean, all of it.
She felt uncomfortable.
She felt uncomfortable.
That's what it was.
And that's what when your gut tells you that. Have any of you ever felt like you have?
Never with a mammogram, but in the other.
A little further,
a little further, a little further. And he was telling me the story about running a marathon, and I was like, hey, I know that you see this every day. I'm naked. I don't feel comfortable. Move it along. We can talk about that later. And he blushed. He's like, I'm so sorry, and he wrapped it up. And they're not supposed to loiter down there. Don't loiter with my vajayjay.
I think they're trying to make you feel comfortable, so they're making, especially the male, or I'm sure female doctors as well. So they're just trying to offer an anecdote. Oh, what you been doing? How are the kids? And you're like, I don't know, just finish.
If it was 1 mile, the start of the race, and the finish line, I would have been fine. But he wouldn't tell me the whole experience. You're like naked?
No.
And there were other two ladies in the room.
But it was still taking a little too
long.
See, and I think also, too, it's that comfort when you have a daily routine. Like, this is their daily routine.
They're like,
they look at like 10 women a day.
This is going to be cold.
Yay, I'm sitting here, I'm having lunch. I'll leave the sandwich to the side.
Literally, but they're ordering lunch. That's so fun. You're right, they are familiar.
Do you guys choose, Cara, do you have a female over a male?
I do have all female doctors, but I don't know. I've just always preferred them. My husband's a doctor. I love him. I love you, honey. Yes. But I don't know. I've always preferred like for that sort of thing, a woman.
Yes.
Amy, how about you?
I had a male doctor, and then when I married my husband, the doctor and my husband were friends. And I didn't want to. I'm out. So then he referred me to Nancy Walsh. And I love her. So I like him, but it was awkward.
Of course. Yes. Hi, Christian, how about you?
I have just been female. I actually, even when it comes down to getting a massage, how you're able to choose, I always choose a female.
Interesting.
I just don't feel comfortable.
Right. So. I think when I moved here, I think this being in Atlanta, the practice that I chose, ironically, my cousin who's an OBGYN went to Emory, and he knew a lot of, went to school with these doctors. So I would sort of see whomever. I felt very comfortable with all of them. But there is something to be said, especially in light of, all that's happened in the news these last few years and these stories coming out. I think there is kind of that feeling of comfort more so with a woman.
Right.
Whether it should be or not, it's just, I feel like the way that things are leaning. What about these? I would love for a male OBGYN to weigh in.
Yeah.
And my neighbor actually is. I should ask him his opinion, know? Because I'm sure now, one would think that you have to be so
careful and just cautious.
I did have a woman tell me once, this is funny, she said that she always preferred a male OBGYN because they really don't understand what we go through, so they're more sympathetic. Whereas the woman OBGYN is like, you can do it, I've done it 6 times.
Yes.
But the men are like, are you okay?
Is everything good?
Something I'm fighting about.
Yeah. I think
I don't know if it's true or not. But.
Getting back to the moral of the story of just, like you mentioned, your gut, your intuition, we know when something isn't feeling right. So, take it to heart, but really read the article. We'll post it because I think she was right.
You'll have a different appreciation of the situation when you actually read the article.
Absolutely. And what was really necessary during that appointment. All right, moving on quickly, a different kind of health topic, just talking about self-care. It's kind of been a buzz expression of the last few years. It's the practice of making sure our mental and physical well-being are a priority. We're talking about how do we put it into practice. So a couple of things. Number one, it's easier said than done. Experts say, really, you're cheating yourself when you're focusing on everyone else. How are you in the self-care department, especially now in this new year? We're already well into it. How are your resolutions for self-care?
I'm terrible, but my friend Shannon Krogman, I'm going to give her a shout out, for Christmas, she gave me this beautiful little kit that had a beautiful teacup, tea bags, lemon, fresh ginger, a little candle, and it had a gratitude journal, and it had this little card with directions. And I did it the next day. The next morning, I got up, the kids were gone to school, and it was me, and the dogs were at my feet, and I lit the candle and drank that tea. And it was like 10 minutes.
Yes.
10 minutes, well, and it set my day on this nice day. Thank you, Shannon.
Yes, thank you, Shannon.
It doesn't have to be a big, long thing. It can just be a moment of gratitude in the morning can really set you.
Right.
I put that in the self-care
for the rest of the day.
I totally agree. And it's funny that you said that about the gratitude journal. There's an app. They actually had a book. I think it's called the 5-Minute Journal. They had a book, and I used to write in it, and it was the same thing, like 3 things you're grateful for, things you want to be better about. And now it's an app, and so I love it because you can add pictures from the day, so you can look back at your pictures, you can look back what you're grateful for, something you would have changed through the day. It's a great reflection, and it's a great way to start the day to be like,
I do.
Busa.
Yes. Yes.
I can take it on.
What about this one? And I feel like you and I are a little bit, another mistake we make is the one and done. So you're eager, we're going to try it, but then we form these unrealistic expectations. So there's no magic pill. So maybe, have you ever done anything, Carol? Like you're like, I'm going to read for 10 minutes every morning and meditate.
I'm really trying to read more. The main thing I always think about self-care is it's such a big industry now, and so it's definitely more promoted and talked about, and people are more accepting of it. And I can remember, I don't think I got like my first manicure till I was in my 20s. I remember my mom being like, "You're getting a manicure?
Yeah.
Like who would do that?" Right. Time for she must have been like 70 before she got her first manicure, you know. But now,
that's what my dad would say.
Kennedy? Yeah, right.
Right. And now it's like much. I see like little girls.
Yeah,
it's
so cute. Well, is it? It's expensive when you have 2. I'm like,
oh, that's true.
Yeah, I'm like, no jewels. I'm like, what'd you do this week to earn a double pedicure? I'll do it yourself, okay? Get down here. Come on.
Right.
But no, right. My mom was the same way, like, a pedicure. But even in those, should we say it?
What?
They don't pay for this segment, but Treat Your Feet.
Oh, Treat Your Feet, yeah.
We love Treat. Have you never been to Treat Your Feet?
I have not. I've seen it.
What are you doing? I was
change
going to
your
sneak
life.
off today after my chicken show.
Really?
I don't have a chicken show. I don't know if I can, but
Oh, I'll have to try that.
An hour.
Just the hour.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay. I'm going to call you to come on the show.
You are in a room with about 75 other people, but it's worth it.
Yes. So you
I'm making my
can't.
husband give me a massage.
I know. Well, Jim bought the massage table, and we've only used it on each other once. I did tell Kara I would give her one, and weird that she didn't follow up.
I was at your door actually for 2 hours.
We even have a lotion drawer that I can let you pick your, and I'm going to get like the water flake.
The scent.
That sounds
Essential oils.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Also, that's not a date.
It's, where is it?
Wear your gloves, please.
No,
Just kidding. Jokes, I'm kidding.
Oh my God, do you want me to? I will. It won't be quite as comfortable.